life, which is, I can't even say it in probably in an hour, because you have done so much. I remember the first time I laid eyes on you was at Fraser Brooks's 2-day training thing he did at the Versace. I think that was last year when he came
that's
on.
right.
And he spoke so highly of you. And then when you got up to speak, I was just mesmerized by everything that you had achieved in your life. And you really were awe-inspiring. I went on and I did Fraser's thing where I was like in the Facebook stories, meet Lourene. This is what she's done. You know, I did that. I didn't even ask you. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to do this. We got a selfie together as well. But just so everyone knows a little bit about you, you are a 5-time world karate champion, which is absolutely amazing. You are also one of the gladiators in, was it the US Gladiator or the Australian one? I can't remember. I've got a friend.
No, the Australian Gladiator is the first one, the first series. So a little while ago now.
Yeah, awesome. You're also a proud mama as well. And more recently, you know, you've been part of this network marketing profession. You're out loud and proud about it, as are a lot of us. And you're just a powerhouse female. And I love what you stand for. I love what you're about. I love that you cheer people on, whether they're in your organization or not. You're just such a supportive and such a shining light in people's lives as well. But I'd love you to take it away, honey, and just share with us a little bit about your background and how you, what you've kind of achieved over the years, but also what led you into this profession, and share with us some of the gold nuggets that you've got.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. Got a lot to live up to now. Look, it all started for me back in year 8, believe it or not. I remember sitting in the middle of the school oval with 4 of my girlfriends, and one of my girlfriends said to me, or asked all of us, you know, what do you want to do when you get older? Or what do you want to do when you get big? And I remember clearly saying 4 things, and I didn't hesitate. 1 was to go to university. 2 was to be a phys ed teacher. 3 was to be a world champion. I had no idea at that point in time because I was doing lots of different sports. And the number 4 was to be a mum. And then before I knew it, there I was watching TV at home, doing some schoolwork and some correction. And the TV's on in the background. This ad comes on about being the next contestant on the TV show called Gladiators. And I thought, well, how cool would that be? Here I am, I'm head of department for 1,000 students. I'm traveling all over the states, or say around the countryside and overseas for karate. What a great way to lift up my profile to get some sponsorship. I want to go on this show. It'd be so much fun. So I went down to Festival Hall, which is in Melbourne, and look, it would have been about 2,000 or 3,000 other people with exactly the same aspirations as me, you know, all decked out in their gym gear. And you know what it's like? Everyone stands there and checks each other out. You got people from all different backgrounds, and everyone's a little bit nervous, and they call us in and they give us a little bit of a briefing what's going to happen over the next couple of hours. And they cut that short. Yeah, they said, Lourene, well done, congratulations, you've been chosen, you know, to go on the show Gladiators. And I went up to Queensland because that's where it was filmed. And I won the second series quite convincingly. That they said, right, Lourene, we're going to offer you a position to be one of our new gladiators. And I thought, wow, how cool is that? So I went back to my school and I said to them, look, I need some time off to now to take part in this Gladiator Series. And the principal that I was working for was so generous in the past, giving me time off for competing around the world. And I thought that he wouldn't hesitate. So, yeah, no worries, you know, go, go, go. But he actually said no. He said, Lourene, we've given you all this time away. This time, no, the answer's no. So I resigned. Here I'm a phys ed teacher, head of department, secured job. I resigned to be a gladiator. Like, who does that, right? So I did that, and then I started my personal training business in Melbourne, and that went really, really well. And from there, I had the opportunity to train Russell Crowe as his personal trainer for 5 years, and Shane Moore for a couple of years. And that went really well. That was fantastic, amazing experience. Then came back, and then in 2009, life threw me a bit of a challenge, and that's where I found myself to be a single mum. That wasn't the plan. The plan was to be happily married forever. All my sisters and my mum have been married for over 30 years, and I was hoping to do the same. And, you know, it didn't work out. So, and with that obviously comes a lot of challenges, you know, financially and emotionally. had 2 little babies, and that's where I thought, well, what am I going to do now? And I was in a huge financial debt. I still find it hard to say today. I was no doubt that I was suffering depression. There was days I didn't want to get out of bed, sit on the couch, and with that you lose friendships because people think, what's wrong with you? Because when I walk out the front door, I try and be this Lourene or this Wonder Woman. But, the noise of loneliness and isolation on the inside was quite deafening. So, yeah, I wasn't in a good spot. So I knew that I had to change and, I suppose, be this role model for these 2 beautiful girls that were watching every move that I did. And I suppose I just started to, I'm a big believer, what you think is what you attract. I just started to little bits, like put it out there, come on, help me, come on, the universe, provide. And I started to look in magazines and I started to read a little bit. And I just got this phone call from a friend of mine who knew that I was struggling. And he came to Melbourne, sat down. I thought we're just having a coffee. And probably halfway through the conversation, he says, Lourene, I've got this great product to share with you. And I remember crossing my arms and thinking, oh, here we go, But I just listened to his story and his testimonial, and it just made a pin drop. I said, what if it is what he says it is? What if it does what it does? And all these things. And I thought, what have I got to lose? And I love the industry. And I just, put both my hands in and learned and read and did what I could to get to where I am now. And here I am, talking to Christine Drummond and her team.
That's awesome. Wow, what a journey, honey. That honestly, it's so inspiring. I know so many women on here that have been through that single mother, hood.
That's a real challenge.
It is such a challenge, and it really is. And hats off to you solo mamas out there and the solo dads as well.
Yeah, I should say that too. And it's just as tough for the single dads as well, that whole get your life back together and on your own and little kids to look after. Yeah, look, there's a lot of people out there in a similar situation.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love how I love how your friend, could see that you were in that spot and cared enough about you to have the courage to go, you know what, I'm just going to put it out there to her and just see what happens. Because how do we hold back? Because we're
all the time.
Yeah,
no, I was just really fortunate. I mean, he had an amazing testimonial himself, and he knew I had a passion for health and wellness, which is, obviously I love that, and I love helping people. And he said, well, come on, what have you got to lose? And I said, well, nothing, and just thought, it's got to work for this industry. As you all know, the upline is really important. It's got to be unique. It's got to be sustainable. It's got to be something that people want, the timing in the market, all these things I was thinking about. And I just thought, I used it for a few weeks and I couldn't believe what I was seeing the results. And I thought, yeah, I'm in. This is it. This is meant to be. So it was pretty exciting.
And how long ago was that, honey? How long have you been in the profession?
October 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what, 4.5, 5 years. Yeah. Wow, it's gone quick.
Yeah, beautiful. And what's been the biggest challenge on this journey as part of this profession that you've found so far?
The biggest challenge for me, I suppose, initially was to learn all about how to do it. Okay, I said the wrong things. I said too much, spammed everyone, sent all those emails. When they asked what it is, I split it all out, all that sort of thing. And I think everyone goes through that. And, unfortunately, failure is part of the journey to success. So that was probably the first one. Then the second one was when my issue or my why got solved. The reason why I started with the girls and the financial situation, when all that seemed to get solved, then I sort of came into management mode. Okay, now when you're a leader, you've got to lead by example. You have to still be on the still walking the pavement and prospecting and all that sort of thing. So I got very, very comfortable. And then I thought, no, I've got to keep going. If I got to get to the next rank, I've just got to keep doing like I did when I started. So they're the two main ones.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think so many people could resonate with that on this call and the ones that will watch this recording as well, because, there are those ebbs and flows with this profession, and there is that loss of, social, I suppose that we come across the people that are still ignorant. They're living in the old way of how we were taught,
Yeah.
And we do come across a lot of rejection. We do come across a lot of no's, and you as well would be getting that as well, just because being 5-time world karate champion and people aren't saying yes to you left, right, and centre. But you're copying it as much as the rest of us. So what do you say for the people out there, I suppose, that, you know, are having a bit of a hard time? They're feeling like it's just no after no after no. Like, what have you got to say to those people, like, to just keep them in line, keep them in the game, and encourage them to you know, to keep going?
Well, you would have heard it before. The more no's that you have, the closer you're getting to a yes. Okay. And it's the average number is, if you're sort of a new to the business, if you talk to 10 to 12 people, you're probably only going to get one yes out of that. If you're an experienced network marketer, those numbers only go up to 3. And you've just got to understand, like, not everyone's looking. Not everyone is open to it. And I'm sure a lot of you said, oh, you would have been asked, oh, is that network marketing? They just hate the body, that whole business model. You've got to understand, it's not you, it's them. They're the ones that have the issue or the concern. And you just got to be emotional, detached from it. Totally. Next. Don't worry about it. And it's all, what I've got to say about this business model, which I love, it's a personal development business disguised by product. Okay, the more that you grow, the faster your business is going to grow. If you're not out of your comfort zone every day, then you will not grow. Your business will not grow. Another thing I think when people start this business, they want success in the first week, the first month. It is a 3 to 5 year business, and there are bumps and blows all the way along. You need to make sure that you work harder on yourself than you do on your business. So how much you're reading, how much you're listening, what are you listening to, what audibles are you doing, who are you talking to? You need to become a better person yourself. And, you know, if Christine's your upline, harass her. Ask her, how do I make the phone calls? What scripts do I have? Can we role play? Can we do this over and over again until I can do it on my own? Now, what I do with my team all the time is that, okay, Christine, you're new. Let's come to my place. Let's do the phone calls together. They're your list of people. I'll make the calls for you. And then after 5 or 6, I'll hand it over to you. And are you going to get it right the first time? No. But it doesn't matter. The person who's wanting and looking for something, it doesn't matter what you say to them. You can't say something wrong because they're looking. Yeah. I hope that helps.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. So, honey, how do you, like, in your organization, how do you get someone started? What are 3 or 4 of the key elements to you? Like, I mean, for us, it's like, number 1, they've got to get on the product. And
yeah, of course,
Number 2, we do what's called like a game plan chat. Like, we really get down to the nitty gritty of why they said yes, like why they're here. We want their stake in the ground. So when they do have that first hurdle, when they do have that first no, we can bring them back to, you know, remember you're doing this for your daughter. Remember you're doing this for, you know, to drop one of your husband's jobs, or, you know, we try and get the why out of them in the beginning so we can always bring it back to that first why. And then the third thing is usually, right, you know, who are the first 5 to 10 people that you'd love to help with this product? You know, who do you love and care about? Who do you know that's suffering right now? But what I'd love to hear what you guys do in your organization.
Well, they're pretty similar. The first one, you've got to tap into your why, and it's got to be an emotional why. I mean, some things are logic, but you really want to get down to the nitty gritty. For me, it was my 2 girls and just the financial situation I was in. I was desperate. So, you know, it's got to be something that really, really drives you, that gets you up every day, to get you up to make those calls or make those contacts on Facebook, whatever it may be. So it's got to be something really, really emotional. And it might take you a little while to find out what that is. I think sometimes maybe to help it's different for everyone, but what it is, it's got to pull at the heartstrings. 2, definitely is on the product. Definitely that's number 1 probably. Then number 2, yes, is doing your why. And the next thing is, we tend to lead with the business a bit more than the product, because we want to have people that can get to more people quicker. That makes sense. Yes, it's important to have customers and people on the product, but we want to explode our business a little bit quicker. So we normally say we want to find your 10 entrepreneurial people. If you were starting up a new business, Who are your board of directors? Who are the main people that you want to work with? Who are the main people that you know that have connections? Then we talk about your 10 easiest. And the 10 easiest, who are the ones that need it? And we're talking about, obviously, for health benefits and so forth. So that's what we do. And we push the business probably a bit more than the product.
Awesome. That's great. Fantastic. And while you guys are listening to Lou speak, think about some questions that you want to ask her, because at about 1:15, I'm going to switch off and I want to hand it over to you guys to ask some questions. So start thinking of some questions now that you can throw at her. That's great, honey. So what's next for you in this profession? Like what's the future look like for you?
Oh, look, I think it's really about helping my team get into rank advancements. I get a lot of pleasure out of so people I've been working with for a long time in business that have been a little bit stuck, is to help them walk across that stage at the diamond executive level for us, or maybe the gold executive, which is pretty high. So that's what my goal is. And because if they do really well, that means it's going to bring me up higher. Of course, I've got ranks that I want to achieve and financial goals that I want to achieve. But now it's about helping others and bringing that up. And I would love one day to be on the Eric Worre's, the Women's Pro Mastery. I reckon that would be amazing. That would be sensational. Down the track.
I think it's one of the goals for all of us women that, have
the women's networking group.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually heading over there next month with Linda and Shenny from our organisation are speaking on stage. So
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. And if you guys don't know, you can actually get access to all of Eric Worre's Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing, all his mastery events, all of it. I think it's around $45 a month, and you get access to absolutely everything. It's so good. It's such an amazing training manual. And yeah, if you can, I highly recommend that you do that, because when Eric was here in Australia, we got to sit with him in the Beyond Leadership. I got to walk along the beach with him as well. And he's just such a smart guy, like, especially when it comes to this profession. And he has a solution for anything. And I really enjoyed my time, with him, because he just gave me things that I hadn't thought about, all from a different point of view. And I was just like, wow, why didn't I think of that? So immersing yourself around these people is so important, and following the people that are absolutely crushing it in this profession. And I love Eric Worre, and we're both big fans of Fraser Brooks as well. And there's
he's amazing.
So I would love to know, do you seek personal coaching? Like, I know a lot of people out here are getting external help with it from outside the organisation. Do you dive into any sort of personal coaching, self-development coaching, business coaching, anything like that?
I probably have two. I've actually got one of Eric Worre's coaches been coaching with the last 6 months. They're fantastic. I love doing that. I have a call with them once a week, and they give me homework and whatnot. It's all about personal development, your mindset, which keeps me tapped in. And I'm very fortunate that one of my people, my upline's been in the industry for over 40 years, been very, very successful. And he is just incredible. He just, again, always, the personal development, always tap back into that. Work on yourself. So, yeah, definitely. I think you need to have that mentor to keep you accountable and just to put you on the right track, and just to keep feeding your mind with the right things that you need to hear and listen to. Absolutely. I love that. And I'd love you to share with us, what does a typical day look like for you these days? How do you fit everything in? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I start my day at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I start with half an hour or 20 minutes of meditation, then my affirmations. Then I get up and I go to the gym, do my workout, come back. Then it's getting the kids ready, lunches to the school and whatever. And then it could be, I try and do things that are income producing activities, if that makes sense. So that's prospecting, following up, might be a Zoom, might be a one-on-one, might be 3 ways. It'd be all that sort of different activity throughout the day until about probably 4 o'clock when the kids come home again. And then it's with them, homework, run around after school activities. And then I'll try and squeeze in a couple of things a bit later on after they've gone to bed or whatever. and it starts again. And it's pretty much like that all the time. I try to have time out for me. I'm a bit bad at that. I find it hard to turn off, but I know I need to do that a little bit more. But I love what I do. I love the people I meet. I love the journey I'm on, the places I visit, the positive people, and I'm meeting new people all the time. So I have new friendships. So it's great. So my work, I have coffees and teas and meetings. It's like a catch up, right, at the same time. So it's a bit of both.
Oh, I love that too. I love all the different cafes I get to go to for these business meetings.
And it's funny because people would say, what do you actually do? Because one minute I'll see you in a tracksuit, now you're in a suit and tie, or not a tie, but like, what do you actually do? It's so funny. It's great conversation. See, that there it goes, it leads into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I was going to ask you what was your favourite thing about the business, but you kind of nailed it there. Why do you think people leave then after all those amazing positive things that you've just mentioned? What do you see people, why do you see them leave this profession so, usually so quickly when they haven't really given it a go? What do you think their biggest blockage is?
I think a couple of things. They have the employee mindset. They like to go to work, being told what to do, and then come home. They don't like the you have to be quite structured and quite disciplined if you work for yourself at home. And I think it's the confrontation of facing no's, the letdown. I think that's a huge thing. And I think also when a lot of people come on board that the upline hasn't held their hand, showed them the way, led them the way, given them the steps. A lot of them, oh, great, I've got a new one, great, fantastic, and let them to their own devices. That is probably the worst and most cruel thing that you can do, because they want to do it. They want to use the product correctly. They probably want to share it with 2 or 3 or maybe even more people, depending on how serious they are about the business. Show them the way, hold their hand, what book to do, what steps do I need to take, give them a list of things to do, and ring them up often. And I don't think that happens enough. And then people just go, oh, this is too hard, this networking thing doesn't work. And I also think they have the wrong expectations. Yeah, I've got the best company, the best products, I'm going to be rich in 6 months. It doesn't work like that. It's a lot of hard work, And I think that's another thing too. People are told incorrectly of what this really does entail and involve. It is a lot of work. You get out of it what you put into it, but it's fun. If you structure your time and be disciplined, it's amazing how much you could probably build even on just a couple hours a day. 2 people a day, talk to them, follow them up, that sort of thing. It'd be amazing. And you're one person away from explosion.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right, and you never know who's coming around that next corner, do you?
You never know. It's right. So it's just always talk to people. Doesn't mean that you have to share it straight away there and then. Just get the contact, build that rapport, build that connection, and when the timing's correct, share it however it is that you share it.
I love that. And it also comes down to putting yourself in opportunities way as well. Like, how can you meet more people? Like, could you join a sporting team? Could you take your kids to different sporting groups as well? Could you go to some mums catch-ups? Like there's so many ways to get out of the house and go and actually meet people face to face to build that rapport and see if they could be a good fit for your product or your business. And you kind of build that relationship so much faster, I feel, when you've got that face-to-face connection. So many, many ways to do that. All right, I'm going to finish with one last question. Yep. And I'd love to know, what are your 3 gold nugget tips to someone in the business? Like, what are 3 things that you feel like these 3 things and success will be yours?
The power hour in the morning. Start your day off. Crucial, however that is for you, what time that is for you, but definitely your meditation, your affirmations, and what you read and listen, 20 minutes. So you've got to do some sort of reading, or whether that's by an audible or a book, and your daily exercise. That is crucial. Number 2 is your daily method of operation. What are you doing between the time that you get up and the time that you finish? Have a list of things, the follow-ups, the prospecting, the 3 ways. Have it scheduled in, definitely. And number 3, I keep on saying, I keep coming back to it, personal development, personal development, personal development. Read, 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 listen, listen, listen. Who do you want to become? Meditate, visualize, huge. All those things comes back into that pocket of personal development. Crucial.
I love that. I love that. And it's stuff that you guys haven't, like, you've heard it all before. Just hear it a different
and
way.
if you don't know how to do that, contact Christine and she'll show you how to do that.
I want to be hassled. Come and hassle.
What books? Yeah, you gotta hassle. Got to hassle. And that's another thing too. The people that ring me more, the ones I work with more. You know, I can't want to have it more than you do. You want to be successful, so get on the phone. And no answer is a wrong. No question is a wrong question. So just make sure you ask the questions and get as much information you can from her.
Absolutely. I love that. And you touch on a really good point, guys, because when our teams grow, when we've got like 1,000, 2,000 people in our organizations, we can't individually reach out to everybody. So the people that are reaching out to us are usually the ones that get most of our time. So if you want our time, you do definitely have to reach out and hassle us. And we're always there, willing to put time and effort into those that have both hands up. So I love that. This is my last question. Joel's just reminded that I have to ask you the billboard question. If you could just imagine you could put anything you wanted on a billboard, like as a quote or inspiration or as your mark, what would you love to put on a billboard for the world to see?
Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction becomes the biggest step of your life.
I love it. Boom. I love it. Oh, we've had some crackers. That's awesome. That's definitely one of my favorites. All right. Open it up to questions, guys. Who would love to take themselves off mute and ask Lou a question? Please don't be shy. This is a rare opportunity that we get.
Here we go.
Woman. So who's up first? Everyone's being shy. Joel, surely you've got a question. Putting you on the spot.
Far out, like I'm the bloke. I'm the one that doesn't talk.
You were talking when I came on.
Yeah.
Hi, Joel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I do recognise you. I must have been watching Gladiator a while back. So
yeah, good. Wow, you must be similar age then, huh?
Must be.
I don't know. They were great days. It was fun.
Great days. Come on, Christine. I got to think of a question, do I? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone's hit rock bottom, what would be the first step you would give them to get them back on track to having a great life?
It's what they're listening to and reading. So I love the book. I don't know if you've ever heard it or read it, called Psychosynetics. Great book. Probably the best book of all time. Let me just get it up. And I'll show you guys. Can you see that?
Yep.
Wow.
I'll type it in the chat box. Do you know that one, Christine?
No, I haven't heard of that one actually.
Oh, no, you need to listen to that. That is a great book.
Can you get it through Audible?
Yep.
Perfect. I'll go and start with that tonight.
And then obviously Jim Rowan, you've got to listen to him. They're great. So yeah, that's what I do. I just get them to listen to that an hour, listen to something an hour a day, an affirmation, just be positive all the time.
So, so far in your life, what would be your number one achievement? What's made you the most proud?
Okay, every woman's going to say having children, but we'll just put that aside. I'd have to say my first world championship, and then reaching Diamond Executive with my company, because how I best explain that. So I'm an athlete, I'm a jock, I can punch, I can kick, I can give you nutrition programs, I can do anything athletically. But I wanted to prove it to other people that I could also be a businesswoman, that I could be an entrepreneur, that I could also build a successful business, separate myself from the sporting arena. And I did that. So to be walking across that stage, to be recognised in front of your peers, in front of your family and friends, and people see you doing that, and obviously to myself and to my kids, means a hell of a lot.
I love that.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So, like, how do you deal with burnout while you're keeping your eye on the prize?
With burnout, so I know this probably sounds a bit, I haven't had burnout. I love the journey. So I love the time out with my kids. I love the time with involved with the people, and I have such amazing people with who I work with that I don't have that burnout. And it also means not just work out with, who I work with, but even people from other industries, even people in the same industries but different companies. Like Christine, I know quite a few people. And it's amazing. We bounce ideas off each other. We have a chat to each other. I'm not trying to take pointers away from her. I'm not trying to take, or should I say, people away from her, or try and get her into my business or anything like that. We work with each other and build each other up, and very proud of each other, what we've done. So I love that. I've got those words twisted a bit then, but you know what I meant.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, sorry.
Just got a question. Vanessa, just take yourself off mute, honey, and you can ask your question. She's probably got 50,000 kids.
Sorry, I've got background noise. That's why I didn't. Yeah, I just wanted to ask. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. I just wanted to ask. When you brought up before, when people ask you what you do, what do you actually reply to them when people ask what it is that you do?
I help people build extraordinary lives. Pretty simple.
Love it.
What do you mean, extraordinary lives? Yeah. Yep, just leave that, leaves it open to conversation and wherever it goes from there.
That's gold. Super simple, duplicatable, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I empower, inspire people to live better lives. Just whatever rolls out.
Yeah. And how much does social media play in your network marketing business, honey? Are you on all social media channels? Have you just chosen one to help build your business?
Mainly Facebook. I do a little bit on LinkedIn. They're very different though, very, very different. Yeah, I do a lot of Facebook. A lot of people watch for a long time. You keep posting, all of a sudden you'll bump someone in the street on like, oh wow, you've done amazingly well. And what it's also done for me is that I've been invited to like talk or present at different organisations or different activities where I've got new connections, which is really important. So I build that relationship again, and when the moment is right, I'll offer them the opportunity or share them with the product, depending on what their health is like. So for that point of view, it's been fantastic, really, really good. So very, very different to LinkedIn, but Facebook I find is the one I mainly work on.
Yeah, amazing. And Joel's just popped another question in. If you had a superpower, what would it be if you could choose any superpower in the world?
Wonder Woman, sham, sure. There's your answer. I'll just need my bracelets.
I love it. You are the Wonder Woman. That's right. How do you balance wanting to grow and achieve more with being grateful for the success you've already reached?
By helping people, impacting people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely, really? That's got to be grateful for that, and the opportunity and the life that you have. But also, yeah, I definitely balance it out by helping other people come up, as in my team, but also people out there who are financially or hurting or with their health are hurting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, charities, giving money to charities. I love supporting children of need, and I have a big passion for Aboriginal children. I love to help them out. And I love taking my girls on trips away to spoil them, but also to take them to areas they feel grateful. So I've been to the slums of India, and next year we head off to Ecuador, where we're going to help the villagers build their schools and their homes. So just to be grateful for what we have, just to teach them that life's not all, bells and whistles. It's definitely, other ways that people are experiencing lives a lot harder than what we are.
That's amazing. And that's a fantastic note to end on, and gives us all food for thought. How do we want to contribute? How do we want to be seen in the world and leave our legacy? And I think that's an amazing thing that you do, and that's why you're such a powerhouse, and you have such an amazing heart. And I see what you do on social media, and even though we don't know each other that well, I still draw so much inspiration from you, honey, and I want you to know that. And
well, thank you.
You are making such an incredible difference out there. And I saw you, you know, the photos from your event last week, the empowerment and confidence event that you spoke at looked amazing. So all those kind of things just keep the fire burning bright for the rest of us females who want to go out there and change the world as well. So keep doing what you're doing. And we are super grateful that you said yes to jump on our call. I know we have nothing to do with your organisation. You don't earn
It's all good
at all. We've taken up about 45 minutes of your time, but if we can return the favour in any way, please don't hesitate to ask. And we look forward to seeing you up on that stage. I have no doubt that you will be there probably next year. You know, and I'd love to be sitting there by your side as well, because it's one of my dreams.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think it'd be an amazing experience. So thank you so much, honey. I really, really appreciate it. And Joel, if you can take everyone off mute so they can all thank Lou for jumping on, that would be amazing.